Everybody, this is Jeff from the Great Heights and Barely Controlled Chaos, and we're out here in the back part of our property here. This is where the goats were for this last week and a half or so. As you can see, well, it's almost 2 weeks, yeah. As you can see, this is where they were 2 weeks ago. You can see it's already started to green up again. I'm gonna come in here with the tractor and knock these bushes down because they're ugly and I really don't want them. And the grass will grow up better if they're not there. As soon as we get these fence panels out of here, I got some kids out here helping me take the fence panels out and I'll mow this down. Let me show you what we did with the goats because obviously they're not here right now. So if you walk down this path, this newly mowed path, because I mowed it just a little while ago, we moved the goats back here. They're in a little, we wanted to put them like in this area, but I couldn't, our fence isn't long enough to go all the way around this area. This shoal of trees is just too big. So what we did was we put them here. Now we used this fence last year and we've used these fences in the past. What we discovered is that really you got to do some repair on them almost every year. So we spent about an hour and a half this morning going through and checking every square. I like these fences because they're super mobile and super easy to use and everything. And actually the repair wasn't hard. It was just tedious. It took us, like I said, an hour and a half to go through and check every square and make small repairs to probably way too many of them because we'd been a little rough with them in the past. But you can see they're in a nice area. It's got lots and lots of grass, so they're going to eat that down in the next week. I am going to put like a video together where I show every day how much they've actually eaten, and then we'll move them. If you look just through the trees over there, there's another little pasture that looks just like this one over there that we'll move them into, and then eventually we'll figure out a way to get them through these things. Probably I'm going to have to come through here with the brush hog and knock down paths so that we can, cut enough space for the fence to go through so that we can just subdivide these up. But that's the idea, is we really want to recover this whole area so that it can be used as pasture land. This area on this side too. The trees are okay as long as it's not brush like that. And what happened? What happened?
What?
Just now, what happened? You thought you saw a snake?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit afraid of snakes, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, so that's the idea here. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just go get this taken care of. I'm gonna pull this fence down, that we'll brush hog over that, and then we'll take this this cattle panel that we're using. We're now gonna add to the pigs area so that they have more space. Well, best laid plans. These goats have remembered that they can jump the fence. So we may have to go back to the pig panel or the cattle panel fencing. Really frustrating because that's much harder to move than the electric fence. But yeah, one thing at a time. So since we're on the subject of recovering, we're trying to recover pasture area, and I wanted to show you this. So this is the area where the pigs were. This is down at the bottom of our pond. You'll remember that it was basically bare when they were done with it. You can see that we got stuff growing up in here. This is all kind of just nasty stuff, but it's just growing back up. They cleared out all of the, the really high, heavy stuff and cleared that all out. So now we've got nice stuff growing down here that they can eat again. nothing that's going to hurt them or the goats. And so we can actually use this area so long as there's not water down here. This is just, again, recovering pasture area from stuff that was overgrown and unusable in any way other than letting the pigs down here and letting them knock everything down first. You even see down here in this area that where that red stuff was, that was all down here, it looked like that stuff over there. It's now actually got some stuff that looks like grass that's growing. So this was definitely worth bringing them down here and cleaning this area out so that we could get them, or so that we can recover this area. If this fills with water, we'll deal with that when that comes. But for right now, this is all just nicely growing back. What we'll probably do is do one more round with them down here in the fall. Before I put them in a permanent pasture for the winter, I will have them clear this out again. And then we'll try to plant some clover or some kind of a winter crop down here that will cover it over. And then maybe something like turnips or something like that down here so that they have something to root for. But yeah, it's not, like I said, this is a pond area that's supposed to occasionally flood. But so I don't want to plant anything expensive down here. But if we can plant something cheap down here and recover this area as a usable area, that's what we're trying to do. Don't get me wrong, we have a lot of work to do. I mean, look at all that. That's just all overgrown. And I really want to set up a way to get either the pigs or the goats to go through all those areas and clean them up. And just like that stuff in the back of the property. And unfortunately, like up here, that's all, there's poison ivy and poison oak and all that nasty stuff. The goats can eat it, the pigs can eat it. However, I'm very allergic to it. She's starting to get pretty allergic to it. So yeah, we definitely want to avoid going in those places. The trick is, how do I set up a fence in that area without getting it myself? And the answer is, I just get in long sleeve shirt and long sleeve pants long pants and plastic gloves so I don't get it on me. And then we set up a fence and let the goats or whatever go to town on the edge of this stuff. So even trying to mow it with the mower, with the brush hog, last year I did that. I ended up with poison ivy all up and down my arms because it was flinging stuff. And yeah, I don't want to do that again. So I'll come down here with as much protection as I possibly can and put the I'll put the electric fence up that we've got the goats in right now around this area and let them just go to town and eat this stuff. And or I'll just put pig panel up right up along the edge of the fence and or right up along the edge of this stuff and excuse me, up against the edge of the driveway, and they'll come in here and eat it. So I actually think the pigs might be a better idea because they'll root it out. So as normal, we have a change to the change. I was not intending to move the pigs tonight or let them have any more space tonight, just mostly because I wasn't feeling great. But as with everybody will ever tell you, that they don't care. So they started, hang on a second. It's been raining for the last couple of days. So they actually dug up one of the posts over here. Not really dug it up, but kind of lifted it up. That one there in the center that you see there. They kind of lifted that up and we're starting to push underneath this fence. So I came out here and I've just added these 3 panels so that they'll get this little area. I have a plan. It's not completely anyway, I've got it in my head, but we're going to move some of them, probably all the boys, into another spot, which I'm going to need these pieces of fence panel for. But for the time being, we're going to give them this little extra bit of space so that they have it for the next day or two while I, formulate the rest of the plan. So, all right, so just a recap. I just gave them a little more space. This is the area that we put them in when we moved them out of the front pasture. That was a month ago, a little over a month ago. We really should have moved them by now, and that had been the plan. They're supposed to get this whole area over here, this whole side of the yard. But I've had some troubles, had a couple setbacks getting their fence set up. It's just one thing after another, so I haven't gotten that done. So I'm going to give them a little more space. We're going to go with plan D, C, B, whatever. It doesn't matter what I call it. And we're going to do something slightly different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the boys. She is most definitely pregnant, and she should give birth within the next few weeks. The 2 other females that are in here, 3 other females, because one of these little brown pigs is a female too. But those 3 may or may not be pregnant. I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're a little too little. But we're going to leave them here with her. So there'll be 4 of them in here, and they will take all the boys. So this one, that one, and I think this one and this one. I have to look closer. But those 2 curly-haired boys and him, the big one, and we'll put them in the back. And I'll show you where we're going to put them. They're going to help the goats do some brush cleaning back there. As you can see, they will eat the stuff just like the goats will. They're pasture pigs, and that's exactly what they're for. So that's what we're hoping to. We do supplement them with grain. We do give them grain, but we also give them as much grass as we possibly can, and trees and bramble and bushes. And I've got a perfect place for them. So I'm going to go show you that in just a second. I managed to talk and walk at the same time. Sometimes that's trickier than you think. Anyway, so what my plan is right now is later this week, probably not today, obviously, but maybe Wednesday or Thursday this week, I'm going to take those pigs, I'm going to park the trailer right up next to their fence and get it ready for them to get in. We'll have to do some sorting, which is one of the reasons I left that piece of fence panel in there, so that we can try to sort the boys out and just put them in that little 4 square there, and then keep the females in that area that they're in right now. So I'm going to walk out and show you. We'll load the boys up, and then we'll bring them out back. So right on the other side of these trees right here, so you see those trees there, there is our goat pen. And I'll walk over to that in just a minute. But this right here is actually a little circle. There's a path that goes around it. I'm not sure what they were doing with the path last, but in the middle is just absolutely brambles and all kinds of good stuff to eat. But it's so choked, we can't do anything with it. I think the goats are going to have a hard time trying to clear that out. Along with this stuff here, we're going to let the goats have some of it, but I'm going to try letting the pigs have this little area first. And if it works, then I will give them more. It's going to require some work, but that's the idea. I'm going to give them one of these areas here that are full of brambles, and they're, pushier than the goats. They're stronger, they can push through stuff, and they'll go through in the middle and eat all that stuff out. And they've done it with some of the stuff up front. Our goal last year was to get them to clear out the front area. They did a lot of that. They did a good job with it. There's still work to do, but they did a huge effort there. So hopefully we can get them to work on this area, and areas like this is more of a goat area. You can see it's more open, lots more grass, but they'll knock all this stuff down, chew it down to the roots, or, chew it down quite a bit, and then the grass will spring up where it was. All this area back here is either for pigs or for goats. Again, this area probably is a goat area. I'm not sure. This is definitely a goat area. But we'll sort it out one thing at a time. And I've got the goats back here, and I've showed you these guys before, but I'll show them from the other side. Yeah, so the goats are back here in this area, and they've got more of a pasture type area with a tree in the middle for shade, some brambles for them to chew on and stuff, but it's not completely full of brambles and stuff. So that's the idea. We're going to get the goats more areas like that, the pigs more areas that are choked and stuff like that still have lots of stuff to eat, just not as much open pasture that is better for the goats. That's our plan for the near future. It's still in the works. One of the things that's going to require is that little area right there takes 8 or 9 fence panels, and I just used 4 of the ones that we have, or excuse me, 3 of the ones that we have to put that little square up. So once we do the sorting of the pigs, We're gonna have to put the mamas back in the main area where they've been, or the females back in the main area where they've been, and then move all of the fence panels out here, get them set up really quick, let the male pigs out, and then we'll put the females, we'll probably put the females in the trailer while we move their area so that they've got a new area with more stuff in it too. But we do want to keep the males and females separated while they're giving birth. We've done it where the boar was in there with them or close to them, and it never seems to cause a problem. But I don't want to take any chances, especially since this is a new boar that we've never tested with piglets before. The previous owner said that he was good with it, but I don't want to take any chances. So we're just gonna see how that goes. We'll get the boars, all the males out here, and we'll get the females their new area. And it's gonna require us moving them quite frequently, and that's just the way it's gonna go. So it's not exactly the way I wanted to do it. Sometimes you just have to go with plan B. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe down below, and share it with your friends if anybody thinks this is interesting. And we'll talk to you next time.